Welcome to lesson 12. Today we're going to be talking about lines of symmetry within two-dimensional shapes. Go ahead and start working on filling out your name, today's date, circling your team name, and then getting going with the appetizer. All right, go ahead and move on to main dish part 1. We're going to start off with a definition talking about line of symmetry. You've probably heard this term before. A line of symmetry is just a line that divides a shape or an object into two equal and symmetrical parts. We're going to use this definition to help us below either create two equal and symmetrical parts or to determine if the line that's being drawn even is symmetrical. So looking at the first two shapes, we're going to draw the opposite side, so that dotted line is showing where the line of symmetry is, so we need to determine what the other side of the shape should look like. So it's going to be the exact same on both sides. So if I was to fold it over that line of symmetry, it would be the same. So make sure that you're using the grid paper to help you with your sizing. And then in figure 2, it's going to be the exact same thing. Make sure that we're not getting confused that this, thinking, well, this looks the same as the shape to my left, this would be equal 100%, they're the same size, but it's not symmetrical. When something is symmetrical, it is reflected equally on the opposite side. So again, mentally in your mind thinking, if I was to fold over this part of the shape, it would look like this shape here. All right, for the bottom one, it says circle the figures that have a correct line of symmetry drawn. So this is when we're going to really need to focus on that reflecting and taking these pictures in our mind and seeing, are these symmetrical and equal? So if I was to fold over this half on top of this half, 100% these would be symmetrical. Now this shape here, it looks like the line is just slightly off of the middle point. So I'm actually not going to circle this one. This one here, if I was to fold this over, this piece is thinner than this side over here, so they would not be equal. So I'm not going to circle this one. And then D, if I was to fold this, it looks like a macaroni noodle on top of each other. This would be symmetrical, so we're going to circle this one. Go ahead and turn to main dish part 2. The directions say find and draw all lines of symmetry for the following figures. Write the number of lines of symmetry that you found in the blank underneath the shape. So first we've just got to draw them out. You can do dotted lines, you can do solid lines, however you want to do this. If you want to use different colors to represent the different lines of symmetry, you can do that as well. I'm going to do A and B with you, and then you'll be able to do the rest on your own. So for this first shape we've got going on here, I know I can make a vertical line of symmetry, an up and down line of symmetry, because if I was to fold those over, it would be equal and symmetrical. I can't do a horizontal line because if I was to fold it over, this wider piece would actually land here if I was to fold it, and that's not going to be an equal or symmetrical. So I'm only going to say 1 for there being one line of symmetry. Looking at this square, I know I can do my vertical line of symmetry. This time I can do a horizontal line of symmetry. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit here. I don't want to get tricked. There's actually more lines of symmetry that I can do here. Here's another one that if I fold that shape on top of that line, it would be equal and symmetrical. Same thing with right here. So I drew 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of symmetry. You should be able to do the rest. If there are 0 lines of symmetry, put a 0. All right, go ahead and check with mine. There were a couple in here that could have been a little bit tricky. Make sure you're checking. And then you can turn to the main dish, or sorry, the dessert. Same things going right here. Go ahead and tell me yes or no. Are those dotted lines lines of symmetry? And then draw as many lines of symmetry as you can on the figure below. And go ahead and list off to the side how many lines that you actually drew. Good luck.